Hi, everyone. So I jumped on a little early. We will start book club at 7 or about 7:05. You know how it goes. We just got to make sure that everybody gets to jump on and get started with everything. I look like a hot mess express, but look, I have my Cozy Escape Book Club shirt on. I wonder if any of you guys have your shirts on or like stickers. I also got myself some stickers that I'm in love with. So some of them are on my like laptop, but then look how cute. Look how cute. Ugh, I love them so freaking much. They are just the most adorable. I am exhausted. I don't know about you, but how is your day going? Hi, Jane from the Reading Nook. How are you doing this evening? Oh, so today was just a hot mess, but I don't know if you guys saw my vlog from weekend before last, but I was on spring break and I told you all that I was pretty certain that Alex had a double ear infection, and I was correct. And so they gave him medicine, and we had like 10 days of medicine. And last night he was just exhausted and he couldn't sleep. And so we had to take him to the doctor today, and he has another double ear infection, or like the other one just didn't go away. So we've been having a not so happy toddler all day today. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Ellen. Yes, the weekend is almost here. Thank goodness. Thank you, Stacy. Hi, everyone. Didn't have time to read this month. Prepping to DM. Your first campaign. That's a lot of work. Thank you so much for coming, though, Renee. Yes, all of the D&D prep. Thank you. I hope he feels better soon. They started a new antibiotic for him tonight, and so fingers crossed that he sleeps through the night, because it's been exhausting not having full nights of sleep. Hi, Lisa. I'm so excited. So I wonder if I can like share my screen. Share a screen. Let's see. Because I want to show you guys. Hi, Brooke. I want to show you guys my let's see. Okay. Awesome. So I just wanted you guys to see the I want to make sure that you guys saw that I created a character list for Premeditated Myrtle. I think that it's going to help us keep up and keep track with book club tonight. So here's hoping that I got everyone. One of the ways that I did this was I read Premeditated Myrtle on my Kindle. And anytime a new person's name popped up, I highlighted them with the Kindle tool. And then at the end of the book, I went to my Goodreads and I looked at all of my highlighted names. And then I created this from the highlighted names. So let me know if that is helpful. And then, of course, I have some discussion questions here to keep us sort of on task and all of that fun stuff. I really hope that you guys like those. I hope that worked and you guys were able to see what I was seeing. I've never shared my screen on this particular streaming service yet. Hi, KJ. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Jaja. Is that how you say it? I always like read it and then I don't know if I got it right. I hope your son is better. Thank you. Hi, Taylin. Okay, cool. So glad that you like that. I was just like, how am I going to keep up? Because I never am able to remember the names of the characters ever. I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember them, even though I can see them in my head and I can go, yeah, that person. I'm never going to remember it. That character list and discussion. Yay. So thank you. Perfect. So do you guys like me posting the list on the day of book club like I did today, or do you want me to post it like a day before or something like that to maybe gather your thoughts? The only reason why I posted it today, the day of book club, is I didn't want to give anybody spoilers for the book if they hadn't finished yet. So let me know what you guys think of that. Yay. Yes, it helps me remember as well. And I wrote the discussion questions right after I finished the book. So I was like, okay, I've got to open up a document and I've got to start typing these questions because I would not be able to remember it. I think I finished the book like a week or two ago, and I don't think I'd be able to remember all of the people. There would have been no way I could have remembered all of them. But let's see. I'm going to open up the discussion questions on my phone because I think it will be easier for me to go through the questions. Okay. I would love to have it posted ahead of time. It's fine. Yay, you just finished the book. So excited. Love it. Day of, please. Okay. I like it. Okay. So I think we're going to get started. First, what is your rating? You can do it in Clio's or you can do it in star rating. But this month's theme was middle grade. And so it's one of the first times that we've ever read a middle grade book. And so I'm sort of wondering what you guys thought of it as a read for book club. I'll as you guys are starting to put your star ratings in, let's start thinking about the first question. So I love books that have like little snippets or things at the beginning of chapters. So what did you think about the quotes at the beginnings of the chapters? And did you notice that they were all Myrtle's father's quotes? I think I was like probably on chapter 4 or 5 before I was like, oh my gosh, that they were actually Myrtle's dad's ones. I thought that was Mr. Hardcastle. I thought that was pretty nifty. So we've got 4 stars, 5 stars, which is a shock for me because it started out as am I going to finish this? That's 4 Clios, 5 Clios, 4 stars, 4 stars. Hey guys, that's a pretty solid like rating for like a middle grade book for a book club that doesn't necessarily read middle grades. So I really like that. It was better written and better edited than many cozies I've read. Seriously. No, I feel the exact same way. I enjoyed the quotes. I found them fun and a way of delving into the next chapter. I thought they were Myrtle's quotes. Were they Myrtle's quotes? Oh my goodness. But I thought it said, I'm going to open up my app and see if maybe I saw it differently. Okay, so it just says Hardcastle's like practical travel companion. So maybe it was all her quotes and not her father's quotes. Maybe I'm wrong. I love the quotes. Yes, I think so. I'm trying to find the book because I may have purchased like the first 3 books in the series, but I have an issue, guys. I have too many things. Her first name was H for Helena. So yeah, you might be 100% correct. H.M. Hardcastle. I am a bad reader. I should have picked on that. Yes, you guys are right. I am wrong. But you know what? I love being wrong sometimes, and I love that you guys pick up on what I am wrong about. Okay, so what did you guys think of it being a historical cozy? So she has a governess, Miss Ada Judson. Did you guys like Ada? I really did like Ada. I thought that she was really well-rounded, and I love the fact that she let Myrtle be herself more than a governess I would think of during that time period. Taylor and I thought they were her dad's too. I only realized the quotes were her about halfway through. At first, I thought they were her mom's. Yeah, I can see that. I really liked the governess. She and Myrtle had great rapport. Oh, yeah. I liked Ada. She was more like a friend. I liked that she was more like a friend, but she still had that, her and Myrtle still had that respect enough with each other to, I feel like she still knew that Ada was the one in charge. I love historical fiction mysteries. I loved Ada. She was so into investigating herself. Yeah, like she was so into it as well that it made it more fun and believable that Myrtle was more able to get into things, because Ada was like, I also want to know what's going on down there. Let's go draw, or like, let's go do something else. Yeah, so she comes along with Myrtle on her research and doesn't discourage her. Lisa, I'm not normally a fan of historical works, but I loved this book. I loved the governess. She was very encouraging of Myrtle at being herself. I think for the time period, Ada was a good role model. She was having her be a lady, but was supporting her thoughts. Oh, yeah. Amelia Peabody vibes. I can get that. Ada was fabulous. I liked Ada. We got a tiny mystery with Ada and Myrtle's dad in the beginning. Yes, like I want to know more about that. So that's another one of my questions is, what were your thoughts on Mr. Hardcastle's relationship with Ada, or lack thereof? Or was there potential? Like it seemed towards the end of the book that there was potential for her to like for them to like get together. They were kind of flirting. They were a little bit more one-on-one and like closer together. And I loved the fact that Myrtle was straight up like, yeah, no, it doesn't matter like where she's from or her background. Her and my dad are meant to be together. Like she was like, we're a family. And when Priscilla like started like nosing in, Myrtle was like, no, not happening. I'm rooting for them to become a couple. Yes, I am too. I haven't finished it yet, but has anyone read Wells and Wong? It's a historical mystery series with two female detectives. Oh, that sounds so good, Susan. I'm not a fan of the class difference relationships trope, so not my thing. That's understandable. He didn't seem to see what was right in front of him. Yep, I kept like screaming to the book, like, see her. I hope by the end of the series they end up together. Me too. I'm totally shipping them. I think they have potential, but maybe he doesn't want the relationship between the three of them to change. It's always very, very, it's give or take, right? Like, what are you willing to lose, or what are you willing to risk for it all? First in the Wells and Wong series is Murder is Bad Manners. I have seen Murder is Bad Manners. Maybe I need to pick that one up. There seems to be potential in the end. I'm hoping the romance blossoms. So am I. Okay, so with her dad being basically a defense lawyer, how do you feel about his wishy-washiness in not letting Myrtle, like on letting Myrtle be so educated, but then it's like it bites him in the butt, and then he tries to take away some of the powerfulness that she feels inside herself. And I don't know how I felt about, like, I understand it's society's norms during that time. Like women were meant to be very coy and pretty and arm candy, and really like seen there to be seen and not heard. What did you guys think about him going back and forth between like sort of his expectations of her, because she knows that he feels pride when she figures something out, and her cleverness and how she's so interested in all of his cases. But then it's like when she steps up, it's almost, I don't know, like he's regretting his choice. It's a bit weird to date the governess. Maybe he's being respectful by going for a different woman. Maybe. I wanted him to encourage her thirst for his work. I agree. I like the way you said that, Lisa. I agree. Hey, Amber, that's totally okay. We're happy that you're here now. Um, I actually kind of liked how her father and the governess criticized Myrtle for crossing the line and getting involved in things she wasn't supposed to. It felt appropriate to tell Myrtle no. I agree, especially because I actually, because we read so many cozy mysteries or thrillers or more adult-ish books, it didn't make sense that, like, I had to remind myself, Courtney, you're reading a middle grade book. She shouldn't have as much freedom as she is being given, or like as she is taking right now. I thought it was really odd because her mother wasn't traditional. I agree. But I can see if Myrtle's mom stayed alive, I can see that Myrtle would be pushed more towards medicine and things like that. But with the husband, with her passing, Mr. Hardcastle now has all of society looking on him as the defense attorney for that area, and peer pressure can be really hard. I kind of understand him because he felt that she was maybe lonely because of not having friends her age, but then he understands why he is like that because of the parents. Maybe, yes. But then I also am like, where's Mr. Hardcastle's friends really? Like, other than Mr. Ambrose, where are his friends? So it's almost like he wants her to be what he isn't. Um, I can see that. I felt that he supported his wife in her medical studies, but found it odd that he didn't support Myrtle 100%. Maybe it's the career she was going for. True, it might be. I think he wants her to keep wanting to know more about things, but at the same time, he wants her to be a girl and do girl things. It's hard, that balance. It had to be hard in that time period. I wonder if it was because her mother is gone. He felt like she needs to fit in. I agree. There might be his wife had a whole entire thing that could have supported Myrtle being different, but now she's even more different because she's alone. She doesn't have the mom. She isn't learning all of those girl things unless it's taught by Ada. I can see that. So now that we've talked about that, do you think it was believable for Myrtle to be so in on the murder? I A lot of times there were some things that I was like when she sort of snuck away from the chef and found her way in Ambrose's office, talking to Blackney, which he was probably one of my favorite characters. I loved him. But is it so believable that a girl of like 12, 13 would be able to be so into the murder? Like, I can understand being a little bit more into it since it was the house next door, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think when it came to her figuring things out or finding clues? I found it more believable when she was like with Ada, whenever they were at the plant place. I found that it was that helped me go, okay, yeah, that's more plausible. But what do you guys think? Another time that I thought that it was believable was when those two wretched girls actually locked LaRue and Caroline locked Myrtle up in Caroline's dad's sort of like morgue science lab kind of thing. I feel like that was believable because then she's like, "Hey, I was kind of like shoved into this situation. Let me find out more." I think that that one was more believable. I do think some of it was a bit of a stretch, but it was fun. I think that she was naturally predisposed to that sleuth mentality because of her mom and dad and their professions and her mom being gone. I can see that. Not really. The fact that she was at the morgue, the jail, and snuck out after hours a few times. Mm-hmm. Oh, LaRue. Oh, I wanted to like flick that little girl in the nose. I would not have put up with that in my classroom. It wasn't always very believable. I forgot at times that I was reading a middle grade book. I'm fine with a genius protagonist, but Myrtle didn't always act like a child. I agree, but I think that that's also pretty on spot when it comes to an only child that doesn't have a lot of childhood friends. They tend to talk more like adults than children their age because that's who they're talking to. It was a little weird that Myrtle was going into places she was not supposed to be in. And I think the fact that she was totally into those detective novels. Agreed. I agree with that. So I just realized that I have not summed up the book. We're 20 minutes into this. Courtney, what is your existence right now? So basically, her neighbor is killed, and she thinks that it is murder due to, she finds a whole bunch of different clues when it comes to the handprints and dirt all over her neighbor's dress. Her neighbor was Miss Wodehouse. And there's a lot of suspects. There's Mr. Ham, the groundskeeper, a mysterious niece, Priscilla comes in, and then her nephew Giles comes in to try and like stake claim, and eventually we find that Miss Wodehouse has the prized a golden slipper of a tulip hidden on her roof that is worth a lot of money, and people who are very greedy for Miss Wodehouse's money and what she has created with her legacy with the lilies has caused her death. And we find out that the murder is caused by Giles, the nephew, and Mr. Ambrose, who is the offensive attorney. I don't know the real names for them, but the offensive attorney who was also a really good friend and previous worker or boss of Mr. Hardcastle, and whom was one of the only men in Myrtle's life who pushed her to be more than what society had women be. So think about those things as I go through here. Yes, okay. I think she was more mature due to being an only child. I feel like even today there are kids who are more comfortable with adults and more adult-like than some adults. Yeah, agreed. I was also one of those kids. I was so much happier hanging out with adults than kids my own age. So, what did you think about Mr. Blackney calling Myrtle Stephen? So on one of her sort of escapes away to try and figure out the whodunit, Myrtle goes to Mr. Ambrose's office to look at Miss Wodehouse's will to try and figure out what's going on, because Ambrose has told Priscilla that there's missing parts of the will, and they're trying to figure out what happened. I know that Myrtle was told that she needed to help Priscilla find the missing parts, and so she's just trying to figure out what happened. And when she finds out that everything is left to most of everything is left to the groundskeeper, she realizes that the murder victim couldn't be Mr. Ham, who did get arrested as a murder suspect and is about to get tried for it. That it could be Giles and Priscilla. What did you guys think about Mr. Blackney and the relationship with Myrtle? That was hilarious. I loved their little inside joke with that. It was funny when her dad was like, "Who is Steven?" I agree. I loved it so much. Mr. Blackney is one of my favorite characters. I hope he comes back. I'm an only child, and adults always told my parents that I spoke and knew things well above my age. I was one of those kids too. I was so confused at first. Haha. Then I realized that Steven was Myrtle. It was funny once I figured out what was going on. True. It was like so quick. Like he was just like, so Steven. And you're just like, wait, what? Huh? But yeah, no, I can totally see that. Why did he call her Steven? I think that it was just a joke to be like, as though she was a fellow like lawyer or something. He treated her like he would treat a man. which I can really appreciate. He acknowledged the fact that she was smart and knew what she was talking about. And I think that that was sort of his way of tipping his hat to her and letting her know that he really respected and appreciated her. I thought their relationship was so cute. The name he gave her, Steven, was so appropriate and so cool. I really, really liked it. I enjoyed that aspect of it quite a bit. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, going back to the expectations of Myrtle and family members, what were your thoughts on Aunt Helena? I think that I couldn't tell which part of the family Helena was from, her mom's or her dad's, but I could not stand her. I understood that she probably had the best and of intentions, but I was not a fan of her as a person. She seemed really cruel at times and just not very understanding of who Myrtle was as a person. I feel like she is stern and trying to make sure Myrtle becomes a proper lady. Agreed, because I have to keep reminding myself the time period that the book was written in. If you weren't a proper lady, the likelihood of you having a future and not becoming a spinster was very high. But I'm glad she isn't living with them. Yeah, whenever they said that she came and lived with them for like a year after Myrtle's mom died and like took care of everything, I was like, "Oh goodness, poor Myrtle." I felt so bad for her. She's that one aunt and that keeps reminding you of your duties. Yes, yes. Very overbearing. And Helena was not my favorite. I felt that she was very much a woman of that time and could not take herself out of that. Everyone has that one mean aunt that is stuck in their ways. Agreed. I think she meant well, but the execution was poor. Yeah, because I feel like she could have shown Myrtle what it was like to be a lady in that time, but to also, just like Ada was doing. I think that basically Ada was doing what exactly she needed to do. She pushed Myrtle when she needed to push Myrtle, but she also allowed her to be herself. Speaking of being herself, it seems like Myrtle being herself sort of ostracized her from other girls of her age. What did you guys think about the girl drama and meanness with LaRue and Caroline? Do you guys believe that that was believable as a story element? Example, as a Mexican American, I always had that aunt who, as soon as I turned 20, she kept asking if I was close to being married and how many kids I'm planning on having. Yep, you always have that. My dad's side of the family is Catholic, and they have they're a huge family. My grandpa was one of like 7 or 8 kids, and so once you become of age, and on the Catholic side of the family, they were always like, "So, what you doing? What you doing with your life?" Um, I think the storium, I was definitely a believer, although I'm happy that she finally made a friend with one of those girls. LaRue was snooty. I like that Carolyn came around. I do too. I'm glad that Carolyn stopped being a follower and realized that she also wants to be in the science realm. And I feel like her and Myrtle are going to be really, really good friends. Mean girls can be in Victorian society, so I think it is believable. I felt like it was really believable. It didn't matter like what part of history it is in. There are mean girls everywhere, and there's just not anything that you can really do about them. I think that Myrtle handled them very, very well. All right, so we're starting to wrap up the murder elements and the possible suspects. What did you guys think about Giles and Priscilla as characters themselves? I thought that it was kind of cool that the mysteries um that Myrtle was so in love with were actually written by Priscilla. I thought that that was really, really interesting, and Priscilla grew on me in the end. Um, I did believe that she was the killer up until probably like 50% of the book. Then I thought that she was just a sort of a gold digger trying to find someone to marry her in this country that she is not used to. And I still sort of think that maybe she was leaning that way, but I can also respect her as being a writer of her own time and um, sort of seeing her grow as a person there. Um, but Giles, I did think in the like towards the end, I was like, okay, Giles is the killer. He has to be the killer, especially when he kidnapped Mr. Hardcastle and he started sort of like doing like a ransom blackmailing kind of thing to Myrtle. I really did think that he was the sole killer. Um yes, it was believable. So mean, and she was different for that time period. So glad Caroline came around. That was a great twist. Priscilla grew on me. Seriously. Taylor, I didn't like Priscilla for a while, but she grew to be okay. I was actually surprised that Priscilla wrote the article about the serial killer, and then it all made sense why her picture would be on the article. She's the author. I agree with Taylor and you. Priscilla grows on you. Priscilla made a great turnaround. I was sure she was an accessory, at least, right? Like she was like, I'm going to get all of these things. But no, I was so happy, surprisingly happy that she was not a an accessory to the murder. I thought her being a writer was so cool. I had suspicions about Mr. Ambrose, but then he was Myrtle and Mr. Hardcastle's friend, so I dismissed my suspicions. I knew it wasn't Priscilla, but I liked the twist the books took us on, trying to convince us that she was the killer. Her brother was shady from the beginning. Agreed. I do not like Priscilla at all. I'm continuing the series, so I'll see if my opinion changes. I thought Giles was the killer for a long time. Agreed. I did too. And then, you guys, were you just as hurt about Mr. Ambrose as Myrtle was? My heart broke for Myrtle when she realized that he was the one who killed um, Mrs. Wodehouse with his digitalis. I was upset for her because she looked up to him. He got her Sherlock Holmes hat and was just one of those people that just kept telling her to push it and to keep going. And I'm not going to lie. Did I tear up a little bit when she was so upset about it? Yes. Yes, I did. I thought that it would be so cool if he continued like throughout the series helping her become what she always wants to be. And then I felt like my heart was broken. So it looks like I'm not alone. Everyone else felt the exact same way. I thought this book was a great example that middle grade books do not have to be cheesy and mature. I agree with that. I was very hurt that Mr. Ambrose ended up being the killer. Myrtle loved him. I know. I was just like, I was so sad. I was just I was just so sad, and all because he was mad because she did not leave anything in her will for him. I was very, very, very salty. Yes, my heart broke for Myrtle too about Mr. Ambrose. Completely agree. I just guys, and I'm reading another middle grade book right now called The Strangers by Margaret Peterson Haddix, and I'm reading it or I'm listening to it on audiobook. She's one of my favorite authors to begin with, but she's a middle grade author. I'm already crying. It's so, so good. So good. All right. So, overall, do you think that the murder was well written? And did you guess the whodunit at the end? I would say that I thought that the murder was very well written. I loved all of the characters. Every character seemed to have its place and have a meaning in the book. There was no like characters that were a waste of time. I feel like all of them were meant to be in the book to help push the story forward. And since it's a series, I feel like a lot of those that were introduced to the book are going to stay. I have already started book 2 in the series, and I'm so excited. I loved Mr. Ham, our gardener. Yes, add the strangers to it, guys. There was a twist in it, and I didn't even see it happening. And I'm like, guys, I've been reading mysteries. I've been reading middle grade. I've been a teacher for 9 years. And I've been reading middle grade books for longer than that. And this twist, like, I was like, excuse me? What? I was in my car and I'm like, do I have to go in and train right now? I thought it was well written, and I will read the rest of the series. I agree. It is just, it's so good. So that's my last question. Are you going to continue the series? Because I mean, I told you guys I already purchased the next 2 books in the series because I loved it so much. I guessed it towards the very end that Mr. Ambrose was going to be the bad guy, and it made me sad. I guessed it till the very last minute. Haha. So I was not a great detective, but this book was so good. I was just enjoying the ride. Agreed. I feel like it was just yes to this series. It was just so, yes, well written. The murder, the characters, the storyline throughout the books were all excellently done. She's also going to read the rest of the series. It was so well done. I did not guess it at all, right? Like, and that's so hard, especially if you've been with this book club for so long. We've read dozens and dozens of mysteries together. And some authors just have that knack of like getting you like going. You read for the story, you read for the adventure, and you're just super, super excited about it. I love it so, so much. Okay, so we're wrapping up on book club. I want to be respectful of your guys' evenings, but we did have 3 books for the April picks. So April's theme was careers. It was choosing different careers for that our sleuth would have. I had a lot of fun doing research for this. So our 3 picks were If Walls Could Talk, someone who is a restorer; The Broken Spine, which is about a librarian who's becoming obsolete because her library is turning into a digital library; and then The Big Chili, which is all about a caterer who actually creates meals but lets the customer take all of the credit. And we had 44 people vote, and it was starting to be a pretty tight race between The Broken Spine and The Big Chili. But our book club book for April is The Big Chili by Julia Buckley, who is one of my favorite authors. She wrote the Writer Apprentice series that I absolutely love. So I'm so excited. I'm going to put it on here. It's The Big Chili by Julia Buckley. And so I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you guys liked it. Book club is 2 out of 2 this year. This is my 2nd month in this club, and I'm obsessed. Yay! So excited. Thank you. So my husband makes fun of me about my water jug. He's like, why does it need to be so big? I drink 1.5 of these a day. And I'm like, I love my water jug. So thank you. Yes, welcome. 2nd month too. So glad that you guys are here. So that is the book club book for April. I'm so happy that you guys are all here to come and read. Seriously, everything written by her is so well done. So I have high hopes for this one as well. But that is, I think, a good wrap up for our book club chat for tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. I really love this format of book club. I love having questions, talking to you guys about it. And you guys know you can always tell me, like, if you want something different or something new. I'm always down to trying something different for book club because I like keeping it fresh and exciting for everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Brooke. But I will leave you guys to read this evening and do something comfy and cozy for yourself. But I will let you guys go. Eclectic Reader, I would like to try a self-published book at some point. We can totally do that. We might even have a whole indie month. We could do that. That would be fun. My library has the big chili. Yes, love it. Thank you so much. You guys are going to make me cry. Don't forget to like the video. Yes, please. I'm so bad at like being like and subscribe. I'm the worst. Okay. Good night. 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 Bye, guys.